The San Antonio Spurs are quickly turning into one of the most promising and potentially dangerous teams in the NBA. Much of this transformation centers on the unique pairing of Victor Wembanyama and Luke Kornet, whose chemistry and impact are redefining how the team plays. Wembanyama's development is already one of the league's biggest stories, but what's surprising is how seamlessly Kornet has fit into the system, and how their connection on both ends of the court has elevated San Antonio's overall play. The Spurs are no longer viewed as a rebuilding team simply waiting for the future. They're now seen as a team actively building towards something that could change the balance of power in the Western Conference. The most recent NBA General Manager survey paints a clear picture of how respected this team and its young talent have become across the league. Wembanyama's name appeared in nearly every major category. He finished 4th in projected MVP voting, ranking behind Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, and Luka Doncic, an extraordinary placement for a player entering only his second season. Even more telling, Wembanyama received 83% of votes when GMs were asked which player they would choose to start a franchise with today. That level of confidence from league executives underscores just how special his combination of size, skill, and basketball IQ is. His performance last season and during the preseason has erased any doubt that he's already one of the most impactful players in the NBA. The Spurs organization also received recognition for its long-term potential. The team tied for second place with the Atlanta Hawks in the Most Improved Team category, sitting just behind the Orlando Magic. GMs are clearly expecting a big leap in wins and performance from San Antonio, which aligns with what fans and analysts have observed during preseason games. The Spurs' young roster, combined with improved chemistry and smart offseason additions, has created a foundation that looks capable of pushing for a playoff spot. Their core group is cohesive, athletic, and defensively sharp, and the coaching staff's emphasis on movement and spacing is maximizing their individual talents. Wembanyama himself continues to impress with his defensive and offensive versatility. He was voted the league's best defensive player by GMs, confirming what many already believed after watching his rookie year. His ability to contest shots, protect the rim, and switch onto smaller players without losing effectiveness makes him a rare two-way force. He also received votes for most versatile defender and even most athletic player, categories that further highlight his wide-ranging impact. At 7'5" with guard-like mobility, his combination of agility, reach, and instincts gives San Antonio a defensive anchor few teams can match. The Spurs' overall defensive identity is being built around his presence, allowing others to play more aggressively on the perimeter knowing he can clean up behind them. But Wembanyama isn't the only reason for the Spurs' optimism. Luke Kornet, a summer signing that initially flew under the radar, has proven to be an essential piece of their system. His skill set perfectly complements Wembanyama's. At 7'2", Kornet provides size and physicality inside, but he's also a smart passer and solid rim protector. His advanced metrics are among the best in the league in several key defensive and rebounding categories. In terms of rim protection and help defense, he ranks in the 95th percentile or higher. On the offensive glass, his efficiency places him among the top performers league-wide. These aren't empty numbers. They reflect his ability to consistently create second-chance opportunities and stabilize possessions. During the preseason, Kornet's production further demonstrated why his addition matters. Against Miami, he posted 9 points, 11 rebounds, 7 of them offensive, along with 4 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Those numbers highlight his activity level and ability to impact the game without needing the ball in his hands. He's shown that he can operate effectively within the Spurs' offensive flow, setting strong screens, making smart cuts, and finding open teammates. His performance against Guangzhou earlier in the preseason, 6 shots, 16 points, and 13 minutes of play, reinforced his efficiency and timing. What makes Kornet particularly valuable is that he doesn't force plays. He reads the floor, reacts intelligently, and plays within his role. The connection between Kornet and Wembanyama has become one of the most intriguing storylines of San Antonio's preseason. Their two-man game has produced consistent scoring opportunities, whether it's pick-and-roll actions, high-post passing sequences, or interior setups that take advantage of their size. Both players move well without the ball, which allows them to play off each other seamlessly. The combination of Wembanyama's perimeter skill and Kornet's screening and rebounding makes it extremely difficult for opposing defenses to cover both effectively. When Wembanyama operates at the 4 and Kornet at the 5, San Antonio can run offensive sets that force defenses to collapse inside, opening up shooters on the perimeter like Julian Champagny, who's been thriving on Wembanyama's kickouts and Kornet's passes. What stands out most about Kornet's integration is that Spurs fans and analysts have noticed his impact more than many around the league. Outside of San Antonio, his name doesn't generate much buzz, but those watching closely understand that he's contributing far more than statistics suggest. Celtics fans who watched him play previously predicted he'd become a valuable rotational piece, but his chemistry with Wembanyama has elevated him beyond that. His ability to serve as a stabilizing interior presence allows Wembanyama to explore his offensive game more freely, sometimes stepping out to the perimeter or initiating plays as a ball handler. The Spurs' young core also continues to impress in league-wide evaluations. In the GM survey, they ranked second for best young core just behind the Oklahoma City City Thunder. That's a strong endorsement of their player development and future trajectory. Players like Stefan Castle, Dylan Harper, and others add depth and energy, while assistant coach Sean Sweeney received a vote for Best Assistant Coach, further evidence of the staff's growing respect within league circles. Even if not every coach or young player appeared on every list, the Spurs' overall presence across multiple categories shows that executives recognize a cohesive plan taking shape. Even in a preseason setting, the chemistry between Wembanyama and Cornet has stood out. Every time they run a two-man action, the result tends to be a clean look or an easy finish. The precision with which Cornet screens and rolls while Wembanyama reads the defense shows advanced understanding on both ends. That level of coordination usually takes months or even seasons to develop, but it's already visible in their early games together. Fans are noticing too. Spurs supporters are increasingly vocal about wanting to see more of this pairing during the regular season, recognizing how effective it's become in a short span. The Spurs organization, long respected for its developmental structure, is clearly capitalizing on this momentum. Their scouting, analytics, and coaching are aligned in a way that's producing results faster than many anticipated. The young core's ranking among the league's best isn't just about raw potential, it reflects a culture of growth that's translating into performance. The attention from GMs across categories, MVP, defensive player, breakout candidates, coaching, demonstrates that San Antonio's resurgence is recognized at every level of the league. The inclusion of multiple Spurs in the GM survey's breakout candidate category, including players like Stefan Castle, shows the depth of talent being cultivated. Having several players receive mentions indicates that the Spurs system is designed to elevate individuals by emphasizing team play. That balance between individual development and collective execution is a hallmark of successful organizations. Even role players like Julian Champagny are thriving because of the system's design. His ability to hit open shots off passes from Wembanyama and Cornet has made him an important complementary piece. The trust developing between these players reflects the unselfish culture being reinforced by the coaching staff. Assistant coaches like Sean Sweeney have been instrumental in maintaining defensive discipline and player accountability, earning recognition from league peers for their work. While San Antonio's roster is still young, the combination of discipline and creativity gives them a competitive edge. The dual impact of Wembanyama and Cornet provides both a defensive backbone and an offensive engine. Cornet's advanced metrics validate his contributions beyond the traditional box score, showing measurable influence on team efficiency. Wembanyama's presence elevates everyone around him, creating a ripple effect that's reshaping expectations for the team's ceiling. Every indicator, statistical, analytical, and observational, points towards sustained improvement. The numbers back up what the eye test confirms. San Antonio is developing into a team capable of challenging top-tier opponents. With Wembanyama's continued evolution, Cornet's steady interior play, and a supporting cast full of motivated young players, the Spurs rebuild is transitioning into a legitimate resurgence. The rest of the league has taken notice, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to overlook what's happening in San Antonio.
If you look at some of these other teams, you can prioritize your young players, but young players also have to earn the right to be on the court.
San Antonio Spurs star Victor Wembanyama will be out for the remainder of the season.
The Spurs found this blood clot in his right shoulder.
Victor Wembanyama says he's officially been cleared to return.
Wembanyama! Oh, it's a dunk contest!
Get out of the way. When I think about this young man, he wants to win right now.
On the court, Wemby is a once-in-a-generation talent, and off it, his summer, it turned into a highlight reel of its own. From the big ticket to the dream, Wemby spent his summer studying with legends who know exactly how to dominate the paint, but it wasn't all sweat and hard work, right? The Spurs star also found some time, kicked it with Snoop. He even found a moment with Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe, and Tina Fey. And while Wemby's summer may have started with grounding himself with monks in China, he went from meditating to moonwalking. Living up to that nickname, the alien, he checked out NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston last week. What's the most impressive part of his summer here, Rich?
For me, I can't believe we didn't add him bending that kick in. Do you see the goal?
Yeah,
that
soccer
goal he had?
That was
like,
excellent.
what the hell?
I know we're all just, we're just happy to have him back on the floor.
No, we are. Look, he's one of those players that you don't get very often, that his talent, his ability, also his personality, his want to do that. I love Jokic. He is one of the great basketball players of all time, but his personality is more of like, he wants to be there. And we've had other...
He wants to hang with the horse.
There's other players in history that have been like that. Victor Wembanyama is one of those players that will grow the game of basketball. So you appreciate that for him. So I love all of this, but now it comes back to getting it done on the court, and I'm excited to see what the Spurs have done this year.
No one has covered him more closely than our Brian Windhorst. It's year 3 for Wemby, and the question is, what do you think, Brian, the Spurs need around their superstar to truly become the powerhouse that we're waiting for? We know it's going to happen eventually, but this is still a very young team that frankly hasn't played that many games together.
Yeah, Malik, that's why I would say that they need experience, because they've kind of got two different teams. They've got some veterans on their roster, but, with Dylan Harper, who is their top number 2 overall pick, he's already got a wrist injury. Unfortunately, he's going to miss some time, maybe almost all the preseason. With him and Stefan Castle, you're looking at committing to playing two very young guards. And if you're talking about the recipe for winning in the NBA, it's not playing young guards. Now, De'Aaron Fox, obviously, they committed to him hugely. They do have other veterans on their roster like Devin Vassell and Harrison Barnes, etc. But to me, they're going to maybe have to walk the line a little bit between developing their young guys who they've drafted to put next to Victor and whether they want to actually win in a very highly competitive Western Conference.
And Wendy, what I love about your reporting and you just being there everywhere Wemby is the fact that we have seen the rivalry between him and Chet. And when I think about the development of this team, the Spurs, it's very much could parallel the Oklahoma City Thunder, winning through the draft, getting star talent, securing them over the long term. But even more so, what excited me the most this summer was obviously him training with Hakeem. Because a select few players have the ability and the opportunity to go with the dream. And, you know, at times I read about it with LeBron or even Giannis spending time in Houston, which, by the way, I was like, please come on down. But it's all right.
Kevin Durant.
We got kidding. Hey, I am mad at that. But the fact that, like, when you see greatness, right, on the court, we sometimes feel like that's what they do all day, every day. You have to sort of open your mind. You know that, Richard. You need breaks from the game. And I believe that he found different avenues. I don't know what Snoop.
Relax now.
The fun part
What's his bars look like? Like, you know what I mean? But it's just like opening your mind to different avenues of greatness to keep you
Snoop
sharp.
opened his mind, I bet.
Jay, Brian, help me get back on track here. The only thing I'm looking at here, it's not these three with San Antonio. It is someone like De'Aaron Fox and Victor. They've only played, 5 games together? And now you're talking about this Dylan Harper injury. We could maybe be seeing a little bit of a slow start here for the San Antonio Spurs. Nope.
Yeah, so the big thing with the Spurs is they've got 3 guards with Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, and De'Aaron Fox, and they're going to want to play all 3. They value those 3 guys. In fact, Kevin Durant had the Spurs on his trade list, and the Spurs were like, look, we are not doing this. We're going to have to give up any of these assets. Either it's the pick that became Dylan Harper or Stephon Castle. So the question to me is, how do they play those guards? Because I think they owe it to themselves to play those young guys, but obviously they gave De'Aaron Fox a max contract because they see him as the running mate to Victor going forward. So look, I'm a big believer in the Spurs' future.